No, I will comment.
Yeah,
Did I tell you what I did? Did you tell what I did to Sparks magazine about Jordan?
Happy New Year and welcome to Monday Club.
Nice, thank you.
That was good.
Well, a bit of energy this time. I mean, I don't have to ask her to redo it. Do you know what I mean? That's the first time. We're getting there.
Third time lucky.
Do you know what I mean? So, we've just jumped on the podcast at 8 o'clock on Monday, the 4th of January. So we're back. This will go out next week. I could put it out tomorrow, but I probably won't. Yeah, this go out next week, and we've just entered into another lockdown. Just entered into another lockdown. But the reason this is interesting is because, again, go to work if you can't work from home is the essential message. So they're going to shut down everything other than going to work if you can't work from home.
Do your best Boris impression. Go to work, do go to work. Go to school, do go to school. Go to the shops, do go to the shops. You wobble more than me, Sam. Go on.
I've got the 8 chins to go with it. But listen, it's just nonsense again. You know, apparently, if you wear a hard hat and a high vis and a pair of boots, you are immune. So I don't know why they don't just roll that out across the country. Everyone gets a hard hat, high vis, and boots. Bam,
Done.
Job done. Heard it here first.
Anyway,
Monday Club. Enter.
Brilliant.
Right, moving on. I know Nick's dying to say, I got some more free stuff or a new unit. What's next?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I did, but
I've just got monetized on my channel, and I'm the bollocks.
Yeah, so Sparks Flame, he's just hit 4,000 subs, and I got monetized, and it's taken 2.5 weeks. Way.
Well done.
Thanks.
Yeah, well done. It pisses me off because mine's been up a week, and I've got 100 subs, and I'm like, Nick's already monetized. What's it like?
Yeah, but I've got a massive already following, so
I've got a
no, I'm not
massive.
Set myself up for that, didn't I? Yeah, no, it's just good that I can start.
I'm so big. I've triggered me.
I can't even. I know. I'm not even going to respond. Anyway, yeah, no, it's been good. It's been good. But let's talk about everyone's Christmas first, because obviously it's been Christmas. So first off, Mark, how's it been?
It's been good. I've had a bit of time with the family, trying to keep on top of the Apprentice 1-to-1 stuff. No work as such until this last weekend gone. I was on call, so I did a few call-outs over that weekend.
You had 3 on one day, didn't you?
Yes, yeah, it's typical with we had a load of bad weather up here, so it was same old story, flooded PIRs and outdoor lights. You know, you get it a lot, don't you, from time to time as the bad weather starts. It's been really icy and windy, so a bit of that to go and sort out. But yeah, just generally relaxing like everyone else at home through Christmas.
Too much food, too much drink, yeah?
Definitely too much drink, too much beer by a long shot. I shouldn't have overindulged quite as much as I did, but there you go.
No, I was drinking IPA too much. I'm just obsessed with it now.
Northern.
No, I don't really like. If I had a Budweiser over Christmas, and I was like, "Well, what is this? Why do I drink this? What's wrong?"
If you're odd, you don't drink IPA. Yeah, you drink Stella or Peroni. Get it right, yeah.
Brilliant, Amy. How was your Christmas?
It was quiet. I hardly saw anyone. Saw my mum, but like we can't really mix, and all my family are all over the country. So, yeah, it was very quiet. It was nice to have some time off, but now I feel like totally lost, like because I don't really take time off. I've been so busy for so long. I think I went back on the 28th for 3 days, and then I've been off since, and I'm a bit
You don't know what to do yourself, do you?
I don't know, and I've got like lazier and lazier. My schedule is like my routine is totally out the window. I've been going to bed at like 3 a.m, and it's because when I went back after Christmas, I did a day and a night because I was working on a shop that was closed. So I did like 19 or 20-hour shift. So I put a picture on my Instagram at like 6:15 in the morning, and people thought I was starting early, but that was me going home from the night before.
Jesus.
So that messed up my sleep schedule, because I went to bed for 2 hours, got up, but then was falling asleep through the day, and I've been all over the shop, and I haven't actually gone back today. I'm not going back until Wednesday. But I'm trying. Last couple of days, I thought I'll try and get back in my routine, go to bed early, but it's not happening. It's terrible. I'm dreading Wednesday.
I know. I had the same thing with. It's the first time, because it sounds awful. When I get into work in the routine, I absolutely love it, and you see flying and stuff's progressing. But then once I stop, this is why I hate going on holiday, as awful as it sounds, because you almost reset, and then you need to get yourself back into the whole swing of things again. Yeah. And I hate it. I really do. I love the time off, love time with the kids, but I hate trying to reset yourself and get yourself back into the mind frame, because it takes me 2-3 weeks to start get going again.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Sam has that after a weekend.
Mate, I never get going. Listen, I had the greatest Christmas I've ever had. I didn't have to rush around visiting mother-in-laws and then parents and like all that nonsense. We had Christmas at home. It was lovely. I got to spend 2 weeks with my beautiful daughter, my beautiful wife, and my lovely little dog, and we just had the best time ever. It was so nice. It's literally the best you could ever ask for is what I had this Christmas. I was super chuffed with it. The first week was blinding. Christmas was blinding, but then after Christmas, I was like, oh, I feel so rough. Well, I just ate and drunk so much, and now I'm visibly fatter. My hair needs cutting. I look like, I don't know if anyone knows who this person is, but I look like a younger Joey Diaz right now. Look him up, Google him. I might even put a picture up in post, but yeah, I look like a young Joey Diaz, a big, fat, greasy geezer. And yeah, I was depressed for the last couple of days during the Christmas period, but you know, I'm back to work now. Got a little routine, got everything set up. So let's hit this.
Go to work, go on your phone, go to eat.
You know, I've got phone calls to make. I can't make them here with a kid in the background. So
sorry, you interrupted my routine then. You interrupted my routine. Go to work, go on the phone, go to eat, shit yourself, then go on the phone some more and then go home.
Listen, I have sorted out my dietary requirements to avoid putting my farts on the outside of the circle of trust.
Every time.
So yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good at the moment. I found this soup, right? It's 320 calories. It's you get it into Sainsbury's. It's Jamaican jerk soup or something. My God, is it delicious?
Again.
It's almost like a spicy stew. Man, that is me. That is me for lunch. And then just a normal dinner when I get in. Boom. I'm just going to ride that wave.
Fair play. I found the same thing with the Aldi little noodle, like hoisin, almost like a pot noodle, just put hot water in it, and it's like hoisin duck. Oh, magic. And it is like you say, it's really low calories, because today is day one of no cans of Monster.
This is what I'm saying, right? So mine is no biscuits, because like biscuits are death.
Yeah. Packet a night I'd eat with a cup of tea. Yeah.
Oh, and you get them boxes. Now we got a box of Fox's. Fox's. Yeah. They make the nicest biscuits. I don't care what you say. Fox's creams and Fox's Viennese
ones. And the biscuits are the little long trough ones with the chocolate in the middle.
Oh my God.
Jesus sent them to us, I know.
Utter death. And then I got a pack of luxury chocolate biscuit selection. And I was like, well, that's going to get it, isn't it? That's getting it. Do you know what I mean? So I smashed through that. And then, like, man, I'm just so glad. Like, I've sworn off chocolate, cakes and biscuits for this month. And I'm just going to stick to that. I think that is probably my downfall of Christmas is chocolate, biscuits, and cheese, I think.
So first year, I had a cheese board. Yeah, I had a cranberry cheese thing. And Mother Alf was like asleep on the sofa. I thought, I'll get the cheese board out. I ate the fucking whole thing to myself.
Do you know what's the best thing, though? It's cheese and wine with antipasti as well. So you sort of like got all these lovely little, really delicious things, and you're necking a bit of red wine with it. Like that.
So you were chucking the food in. I thought that's what that was.
Yeah, and then before you know it, you're stuffed and you're pissed. And you're laying there like, this is so good. And then about an hour later, you're like, there's a little bit left. Why
cheese?
not? Crack open another bottle. But yeah, it's ridiculous behaviour. I feel gluttonous, and I feel like I might die soon of a heart attack.
Magic. So if Sam disappears next episode, you know what's happened.
Yeah.
Going on the whole theory thing of here, like, has anyone got any New Year's resolutions? Mine's just
No.
eating better and just trying to stop doing the crap. Mark?
No, I don't really do New Year's resolutions, to be honest. Just to try and carry on being as awesome as Sam. That's my goal for every year. I want to just be like him come December. I'm working towards it. I reckon I can get there this year.
Yeah.
Excellent. Amy, what about you?
Same as Nick, really. Just eating better, going back to my daily workouts and stuff. Because I was doing so well last year, especially through lockdown.
What was your daily
what are you
workout?
laughing at? Huh?
I said I'm just interested what your daily workout is. What do you want?
Well, I used to see a PT and do all different stuff, but that all stopped because of like lockdown and stuff. Then we were doing like online
Dating?
classes and stuff. And and then yeah, nothing. I was just working. So yeah, I'm trying to get back to that just so I feel better because I'm so unfit right now.
It is amazing how, like, on your feet all the time. It's amazing how much you actually lose weight, like physically doing. Sam doesn't lose any weight because he doesn't do any work, but like us lot on the tools, like on your feet all day for 12 hours a day, it's amazing how much you burn.
Listen, I got a Fitbit for Christmas. I asked for a Fitbit for Christmas because...
And it says, you're unfit. Yeah.
And it says, resting heart rate, like 90. And I'm like, what? Resting heart rate of 90. Just walking around, I look at my wrist and I'm like, it's 110.
What you should look at it when you're on the phone. When your phone rings, watch your heart rate go up.
No, it's ridiculous. Oh, it's ridiculous. I'm like, I need that as like a daily reminder of like, listen, bro, you fat. Stop looking at yourself and not thinking you're fat because your watch is telling you you're fat.
Is it on the last hole on the strap?
No, it's not, mate. I've got skinny wrists. See,
you have.
I don't really have cake eating hands either. They're pretty normalish. They probably could do with a little bit of fatness off of them, but
Talking about hands, Amy, let's look at yours.
I knew you were gonna say nothing wrong with my little hands. Look, they're just little and fat.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I don't even know what to say. I know they're awful, but you know, can't have everything.
Previous life, Amy used to smash boulders, and
she was a miner.
She was a hole digger. In a previous life, she is a hole digger.
Anyway,
thanks, guys.
Electrical stuff, yeah. Go on, Mark. Electrical stuff.
Wait, is this a hot topic?
Mark's hot topic.
Hot topic.
Yeah, I thought it was relevant after a video I'd seen on YouTube. It was from Artisan Electrics. I don't know if any of the rest of you have seen it, but he popped a video up of some very tidy three-phase work he'd been doing. And some of the comments on his video were to do with cable tying your conductors inside a distribution board. He was taking a few pelters for it. And I commented on there because I thought it was a bit uncalled for. First and foremost, because he's just showing his day in the life work. He's not showing the full install. We're not there seeing exactly what he's doing, what he might have done. But regardless of all of that, I just wondered what all of you thought about cable tying conductors in a distribution board or consumer unit.
So I have a thing. I think it's all right, actually, because if you do it, cable tie it all, and then like leave it for a day, come back, cut the cable ties off, it all pretty much stays there anyway. So sometimes I use cable ties. Well, pretty much all the boards I'm doing at the moment, I'll cable tie it up into a corner and stuff like that, and then I'll just cut it off at the end and it sort of stays there anyway. So, you know, to get the most pretty fuse board, whatever, most pretty consumer unit, no matter what it is, using cable ties, I think, is pretty essential.
Yeah, I'd go off that. To be fair, mine are neat and I don't cable tie them, but there has been times where no, like we know the neutral fly leads because it's a different type. It's flex. It's multi-strand. Once they've been kinked in the packet because they're already cable tied or elastic band, you physically can't get that kink out. It's impossible. So a few times I've cable tied stuff up and out the way. But when I did 3-phase boards back in the day, we cable tied everything. Bring it all down, separate it, bring it, bunch it together. We didn't go and cut them off afterwards. I think the whole cable grouping factor is to a point relevant if you had a bunch just thicker than your wrist. Like, I'd get that completely. But most of that cable has been brought through the same trunking or conduit it's just dropped down in. So if all you're doing is splitting it off and bringing it down, the cable grouping factor will be the same as it is above. So it makes no odds other than it's now got, most of the time, another layer of insulation stripped off. So the grouping factor would be less as is. So I don't really see the point in it.
But I have seen thermal imaging on cable ties, and where it's cable tied, it is hotter. So I think there's a legit thing there. But even so, you just don't do it up as tight, do you? So a lot of people might make the mistake of pulling it tight there because it holds everything tighter and neater. But if you just didn't pull it those last few clicks, I'm sure that wouldn't even be a factor then.
Yeah, I do. I think it's people just argue for the sake of it because one person once has said, "Oh, you shouldn't do it," and that's it, and they're jumping on the bandwagon. I don't really see a massive issue as long as there's not hundreds of cables. If it's just, the ones that says 24-way board, if it's just the 24-way neutral conductors coming up or the fly leads for the neutrals or whatever, I don't really see a massive issue.
No, I don't.
And you hit the nail on the head with what you said in this situation, Nick, because there was some trunking around Jordan's board and all of the existing cables were kind of running through that anyway. So any of the grouping factor calculations should have been done based on that, because you have some horizontal trunking. What happens? Everything sits on top of everything in the bottom. So you should be doing those calculations anyway. And regardless of that, if you look at the grouping factors, all of the circuits have to be under simultaneous load for it to be applied correctly. So they all have to be drawing a significant load for the full grouping factor calculation to go in there. I think it's in the design guide, but there's a couple of different.
Is there a time on that full load?
No, but if you look in the design guide, there's 2 different calculations you can use that aren't the full grouping methods, and they're in the regulations as well. And also the other factor to all of that is that they need to be carrying more than 30% of the rating of the protective device as well for them. If they're not, you can discount them as well in that calculation. So there's a lot of circuits that won't be doing anything like that. So your lighting circuits, for example, and some of your socket circuits as well. So, by the time you've factored all of that in, it's very, very rarely going to be an issue. And I think sometimes a lot of these people who make these comments have seen stuff somewhere else where they've been given an example showing how grouping of cables in a consumer unit or distribution board is really not a good thing. And then they've run away with that thinking that applies to every install. And Jordan's just showed a snapshot of his work of like a really, how hard that is, Nick, doing a video of a full, this was probably a week's worth of work he'd done into like a 20-minute video. You can't show all your calculations and everything you've done. It's just the day in a life thing. And it had really annoyed me actually that people had taken the time to try and critique him because he'd stuck a few, it was actually Corey. It wasn't even Jordan. Stuck a few cable
shout out to Corey as well. He's a absolute legend he is. Some of the pictures I've seen on his Instagram, the stuff he's done previous, so he's like very impressive.
Yeah,
and he's younger than me. He's like 20,
qualified
23.
electricians. Why are people assuming qualified electricians are out there doing crap work? Why not assume that they're doing it right and just I don't get that mindset, but there you go. Just my thought.
I do think social media is a funny platform. Is that the end of our hot topic, Mark? Before we move on to the next one.
Oh, let me talk about Jordan.
Go on.
Yeah, sorry. Speaking on Jordan, obviously artisan, if people don't know who he is. Sparks Magazine messaged me, a month and a half ago and said, we want to do a thing, send you some questions. They did to loads of Sparks, sent me 20 questions. And one of the questions was, what is popular that you dislike? So I just got it back saying artisan electrics. And obviously that comes up.
Just so as you know, Nick, I was in Sparks Magazine on the 20 questions before you, just so as you know. And
I know that's absolutely fine. I did say let the lower people go first, so and then come to
let the peasants go before me.
Bless them.
But let's talk about social media for a minute.
The poison.
No, see, I don't think it is. I think
No. The poisonous side. There is the benefits outweigh the negatives on Instagram for us guys anyway.
like Twitter's a funny place, and I like sometimes I can put a post up and it sounds very dickish, probably because it is, and I can be. So that's something I need to work on. Let's preface this whole conversation on the fact that Sam probably needs to work on his tact and maybe personality. But anyway,
whoever it is,
it's a funny thing, man. It's a funny thing. And I sort of picked out a few points on there and I got hammered. Rightly so, because maybe I picked them out in a dickish way. But I'd like to reiterate this fact. If you disagree with me on social media because I commented on one of your posts, as you can comment on my posts, there is a reply button and I'm allowed to reply to your post because you put it in the public domain. It's not a troll. It's just me having a conversation with you and challenging you on your views. I welcome being challenged. I will host a podcast where you can come and challenge me on my points of view on any subject, anytime. Let me know. But other than that, I really enjoy social media.
I think where it's got lost is I agree with most of the things you said, because I've already said if we're in tier 4, I don't see why my kids are going to school. I cannot understand why you would make a lot of people not go to school and send your kids, but I wouldn't bother on social media. I just keep it to myself. That's that.
That was the initial thing. Why are you putting that on social media? I think a lot of people are sort of virtue signaling around social media at the moment, and I think it's a really strange thing. It's like, oh, I'm doing this because I'm awesome, or I'm doing this because I'm selflessly protecting those around me. Well, you're not. You're virtue signaling your decision, and it's just a strange thing to me. I've had to have the conversation with my missus this week about my daughter going to nursery. Does she go? We're in tier 4, but do you know? We're talking about COVID now. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. People don't want to talk about COVID. They don't listen to this to talk about COVID. I'm out.
Okay.
I was going to say my Twitter. I had, if you remember, I mentioned a few weeks ago, someone wound me up talking about people trying to get YouTube famous and Instagram famous and stuff, and how they were sick of YouTube specs. Yes,
and me.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the accusation, and it kind of wound me up, and I blocked this person. And then on Twitter, they shared a screenshot of the fact that I'd blocked them. And anyway, the result of all that was I unblocked them, and we're friends again now. So it can be. Peace can be restored.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm always open to a nice, healthy salad. No, I'm not. Debate. I'm always open to a healthy debate. Listen, but when you're doing a debate via messaging on social media, so much shit gets lost. Stop it. Come on here and debate. Let's have a debate. Let's talk about things. I think it's healthy. I think it's what's needed in this sort of climate. And let's just end of the day, social media is a positive thing. It enriches so many people's lives. It's what you make it. There's no such thing as a troll, in my opinion, because you've got a block button. You only allow yourself to be trolled.
I agree with it with social media, but I wouldn't say it's just social media. I have this issue when people texting. Text, I hate, even at my age, I hate text. Text and words can be taken so out of context in so many different ways. A phone call, you know exactly how they're speaking. You can judge the way the conversation's going. If someone's wanting to have a go at BRC, you can gather that from a conversation. You can't from a text.
No.
So the way you want to put something online could come across in a completely different way, the way people interpret it. So it's one of them, you can't put any emotion into words. Typing words, that is.
Yeah, it's very true. That's a really good point. I've been accused of spamming my timelines across stuff to do with Apprentice 1-to-1 of late. There's been a few hashtag movements of quality over quantity. But my point is that one of the posts on LinkedIn today, I had like 500 views on, next to nothing, and there's 3 employers come through from that for apprentices just today. And another post I did last week is getting on for like 70,000 views and loads of likes and shares and nothing. So it's all about reaching the right people. It's okay that if a viral post goes through all sorts of people that have nothing to do with the electrical industry, gets you nowhere with your objectives. So I do keep posting all of the time in the hope that my message pops up in front of someone's face at the right time. That's it.
I think listen, it's social media. There's ups and downs of it. We've all had it. I've had people message my missus about me at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
Like, do you know what I mean? Anyway, they've like, and all kinds of silly things, but it is what it is. I enjoy it. It's fun. I like debating. I never get hurt by words. Like, I'm not a pussy. And you know, it's just life. But moving away from that, who has enjoyed going back to work?
I love today. And the weekend. I enjoy fault finding and call outs, so I was really quite chuffed to be going to do it.
Can you guys hear that on Mark? Yeah. I think is
what have you
massive
done to
interference.
your phone, Mark? What are you
can you hear me now?
No.
No, I think it's your headphones.
Bollocks.
Oh, what the ones he done a review on? What a fantastic review on! That's almost as legendary as Rick's review on a lapel mic or a hard hat.
Thanks. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you can.
Good.
Oh, but we can hear you, but it's got like a bit of feedback or something in it.
Yeah.
What about that?
No,
better, but it's quiet.
That
Amy.
Yeah.
What have you got to add to this week's Monday Club?
Well, I haven't really done a lot, so I have organised all my tools this week. That's what I've been doing with my spare time. So I thought, I've had my velocity bags for so long, and I've just had no time. You know, when you need a proper good sort out, there's no point doing it half-assed. So I had everything out, cleaned all my tools, and loaded up my new bag. I got some new T-stack boxes as well. So I got rid of my old boxes and put all my new stuff in and organised the back of the van. And then I went to buy some sheets of plywood today because I'm going to make a shelf in the back of the van.
No, you're one of the first people in the country to rent a van from Royal Mail. How did that come about?
I get lost.
I was going to say, where do you put all your tools with the big bags of mail in them?
Yeah. And that black and white cat.
You're not even funny. I love my van. You won't upset me.
What's the cat called?
Dickhead.
Jess, that's a dickhead. Yeah, Jess, that's it. Now, why did you find that so funny?
Such a child.
Such an idiot. I had a right strop last week as well. You know,
Why?
I've been working on my mum's kitchen.
She didn't pay you.
Oh, she paid. She wouldn't get it finished if she didn't pay me. I put in a new circuit for one of these microwave warming drawer things.
Yeah.
And it was delayed coming. Anyway, I went over to connect it all up, and the cable, I'd left a note for the kitchen fitters where I wanted the cables bringing through for like the oven and then that. And they brought them through in the opposite cupboards, and then I couldn't get down the back to change it, right? And then when I finally did, I had to pull the cables up. They'd cut the cable for the new circuit that I put in for this microwave warming drawer right near the wall, like right straight through the neutral, and then just whacked a load of blue tape around it and just left it hanging down the back of the thing. I was fuming, absolutely fuming, because it was like right close up to the wall, like where it was coming out. I was so angry.
It's just
that was Amy's mood of the week.
Is this a question? Plasterers, painters with trowels. Didn't get it. No one got that, did you?
No.
The last time I said painters, labourers with a brush. So this is just going on from that, mocking other trades.
That was really fun.
This was kitchen fitters, right? And do you know what else they did? I had
Yeah, it's kitchen fitters, Sam.
Oh, I
mine
wasn't
keeps
listening.
freezing. Oh yeah, on the other side of the kitchen, I'd left 2 other cables that I wanted bringing through into a cupboard. So I left them a note because I was at work. And when I came back, because they were going to be, what were they going to be? I think they were both going to be spurs inside the cupboard. They bought one. I left them like right in the middle where I wanted them, bringing through, and they bought one out literally bottom right of the cupboard and top left of the cupboard, as far away as they could. So they cut massive holes in the back of my mum's units and then left me like 2 inches of cable.
Yeah, I have it all the time.
Why? I don't understand why they do it. It's like you couldn't be any more stupid. You couldn't do it in a worse way. Like, why? I don't get it. And they must do this every day. They must bring cables through the back of cupboards every day. It's their job, part of the job.
The problem is that's now, or if you've already done it, but that for me would then take another 3 hours to resolve and fix. Then time
What
wasted.
does that mean?
What would you do?
Like, it's just wasted more time. Like if it had been drilled through properly,
you wouldn't charge them for you wouldn't. Like...
No, you can't. You end up just wasting time out of your day. I had this on one of my previous videos. The house that you two went to with me, the plasterer cut all my cables, even though I left over 1.5 meters of flex off the wall below the worktop height to pull through, to make off, to push the slack back, easy peasy. They cut it off within 6 inches of the wall, which I then had to cut, multi-tool the fast fix mattresses out to be able to pull the cables through, to then be able to join stuff onto them, and then sit at the back. And luckily, the joint was actually in the mattress because I put a deep 47mm one in. Smart. And it was an absolute pain in the arm. It was a 300 cupboard that led onto a corner unit, which normally I could have pulled the cable all the way out the unit, fixed it, pushed it all the way back in, dropped the slack down, and I had to take the unit apart to fucking climb in it.
It's
It's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, that did my head in. That was last week.
Well, today I had a problem and the cables weren't in the back of the box. I had to take the box out, pull the cables down, and then put the box back in.
And then you shit yourself.
Didn't this time, actually. Marco, what are we ending on, bro?
Can you actually hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Oh, can I ask Mark something?
Yes,
I spoke to Mark about I asked Mark a question a little while ago. And I was talking to a young lad that's doing his training at the minute about the same thing. So I was wondering if you could explain it properly, how you explained it to me, about when you've got 2 RCDs. You know, remember when I asked you about putting that RCD socket when there's already an RCD in the board?
Yes, that's selectivity between RCDs. So you still need to try and achieve that on your installation. So if you have 2 30 milliamp RCDs on the same circuit, so in your scenario it was with a socket outlet, wasn't it, with RCD built in?
Yeah.
And then an RCD main switch as well.
Yeah.
You can get issues where one would trip in place of the other, causing user confusion. And equally, if you press the test button on one or the other as well, you can cause a problem. So you should always you should always try and ensure that you've got selectivity between RCDs, the same way you would with your MCBs or your fuses on your installs. So with your particular one, just use a normal socket front. You already had that RCD protection in place anyway, so it wasn't needed. And again, if you're on a installation, you might have to use a time delayed RCD at the distribution board or consumer unit, and then a 30 milliamp RCD at a sub board in an install. So always have that difference between them, just selectivity.
Okay, thanks.
Ask Mark anything, he will know.
No, not necessarily.
Well, Mark, tell me this. Are you growing that side of your beard to contour your face? Because I might need that, because I've just got a neck that goes into my chin.
When you do that, Sam, do that again. It looks like my thumb.
It's just a neck and a head. I don't have a chin.
Or a jawline, Sam. There you go.
Right, big northern head. Well done.
Brilliant.
Right, listen, it's a short one today. Anything else to add?
No, we'll see you all next week when we've all put 3 more stone in because the lockdown. Rocking.
Yeah. Oh God.
Lockdown. That's killing me. Mind you, it might be that we've got no work, which will be blessed.
There's one
No.
thing I did want to mention, actually. We've got a rewire that's supposed to start tomorrow, and it's in an elderly customer's house. And it's one of them has dementia. The other one works in a hospital. So the daughter works in a hospital. What's everyone's thoughts on that one? Should we be doing it or not? They've said that they're happy for us to do it, regardless of what Boris said tonight. That was their last parting words when I was asking them.
Well, I think it comes down to you.
Yeah, if you can't work from home, you can still go. As long as you're wearing the appropriate PPE, which you do anyway, then it's not an issue.
Relax with the appropriate PPE, though. Relax, yeah.
Well, every job I go to now, Adam and I walk around with a mask on.
Relax with the mask, though. Relax with the mask. I'll tell you why. Because if you're working in asbestos environment, you have to have like a properly face-fitted mask, yeah? If you're working, I don't know, with silica, you have to have a properly face-fitted mask. Now, those particles ain't as small as virus particles. Really, you should have a face-fitted mask if you're working in someone's house. That's my interpretation of the rules. That's my interpretation of health and safety at work. But I don't really know. I'm not a scientist, but that makes common sense to me.
Yeah, I get that.
Part of my thinking that it might be within the rules to go and do it, but say that one of them does end up catching coronavirus or COVID-19, whatever it's called, and it potentially has come from one of us. How does that end up leaving you feel if they then lose their life, regardless of if you worked within the rules or not? It's a really difficult one, and I think a lot of tradespeople are in that position of needing to go and earn the money and want to keep working, but equally aren't really sure if what they're doing is ultimately going to make somebody ill or not.
That's a big concern. The other big concern is for people working on sites is bringing it, like, I'm working on site tomorrow with, there's another crew in tomorrow for the dry liners, and there's the fire alarm crew in tomorrow. So we're going to have about 40 people on site tomorrow. It's not a big site, and at lunchtime, everyone's for some reason decided to take lunch together. So the canteen's out of bounds. Got to walk through a canteen that's got like 40 people in there. That's just to get on site. So I think for me, the whole thing is slightly irresponsible. I don't think companies that preach this health and safety sort of mantra, I don't think they're following this to the letter. I don't think they're doing enough. I know the company I'm working for, they do a lot, but they're kind of stuck by what they can do in accordance with the builders that we're working with. So it's a funny old thing. There's a lot of unanswered questions. It's a very ambiguous set of rules. Like, I know there's people out there say it's very clear. If you can go to work, go to work. But at what risk to you? What risk to transmitting it to your family? You might live with vulnerable people, elderly people. There's just so many factors, and I think if you're going to do a lockdown, I think it's time that we just bit the bullet and just said, listen, unless you are essential, i.e., police, nursing staff, supermarket workers, and let's really look after them rather than doing what we're doing. This is just all, I find it all a nonsense. And here we are talking about COVID again, but it's big news, isn't it? It's big news. We're in the third national.
It affects everyone's lives. That's it.
It does. It just does.
I think the only godsend I've got is because the laws changes as of April, that all these EICRs need doing and take into effect. I have literally hundreds of empty houses to do EICRs in, which will keep me going nicely. Lovely. But a lot of electricians don't. But unfortunately, that then affects YouTube because no one wants me to see me do any videos on EICRs again. So I won't be able to record much. It's going to be like the very first lockdown again, where you've got to go do what you can do, really. But now I've got a unit, so it's fine.
Big old
back cave. Yes.
Amy, what are your concerns around it? Are you going to be working? Are you going to be, what are you going to be doing about this old loco downo?
I'm going to carry on as normal. That's what I did before. Going into people's houses. I mean, if they don't want you in the house, they cancel. As simple as that. I'm happy to go into people's houses. I need to work, so I suppose I'm willing to take the risk. But I wear a mask, I wear gloves, I have hand sanitizer. I feel like I do what I can.
And you do
most
live alone as
customers-
well, don't you? For the most
Sorry?
part. You do live alone
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah, so I'm not, a risk to anyone. So, like, I've kept away from all my family. I mean, I used to see like my gran every Saturday. I've not seen her since March because she's not been well. I know that I'm working, and I'm not willing to, risk making her ill. That's just what I have to do. But I'm just gonna, if I can carry on, I'll just carry on.
I feel like the moral of the story is responsibility, self-responsibility.
Everybody's different, aren't they? Everybody has to make their own choice. Everybody's circumstances and like home situations different, and I haven't got kids to think about, and so yeah, I just carry on if I can.
Right,
mailing them letters.
People need their post, right? People need their
right.
Amazon packages.
Why don't you do that instead? Why don't you just go and like sign up to Amazon delivery and do that instead?
And then get a cat called Jess.
Is it illegal to impersonate a postman? I think it is.
That's
Yeah, well, yeah, that as well. But yeah, you can't do it with Her Majesty's symbol on the side of your van.
No.
Okay,
We
I'm
wouldn't
not
do
going to
that.
do it anyway. So, like,
Oh.
I'm not a postwoman. That was never a Royal Mail van. It's just a van that happens to be red, and it's ever so shiny at the minute because I snow foamed it while I was off and
Ooh.
polished it. I spent like 4 hours cleaning it, and it looks absolutely beautiful.
It looks like what it is, a van from 1992.
Listen,
Oh.
right? That's my everything. Do you know what I mean?
She's triggered. And a G-Reg fan.
Oh, to be nice. I like the van. It's nice.
This
Matches
is
her
a piss
hair.
taker. Can't all afford nice vans like you.
I ain't
That's
got a van.
that's my everything. That is.
Well, my old van was as well. Like, it was my pride and joy, genuinely.
Yeah, so
Even though you compare it, well, it's
Like,
actually still
piss
mine.
off, man.
I've not
Don't
sold
like
it
it
yet.
anymore.
Technically still mine. I'm just lending it to a friend, actually,
Oh, you're odd.
because I can. Anyway, go on, Sam.
Right. That's it, isn't it? Right, well, thank you. And Nick's got another hat, whatever. Right, listen, I'm ending this podcast. It's a car crash. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Go on, Sam.
Leave that in 2020.
Yeah, please.
I hate you lot.